interview series with the Muldoon Center, where we interview alumni of the entrepreneurship program here at JCU. Today, our guest is James Ress, an alumnus of the class of 2021. Thank you for joining us today, James.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Andrew. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Can you give the viewers a bit of background about yourself, where you're from, how you wound up at Carroll, and what you're up to now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, originally from a small town about an hour south of the Cleveland area called Massillon, Ohio. After high school, I actually didn't go straight into college. I joined the Army, did that for roughly 3 years, and then, found myself wanting to move back to the area. And that's sort of what led me to John Carroll. I had a really good friend at the time that, I think he was a junior at the time at Carroll, and he kind of persuaded me, and next thing you know, I'm up in John Carroll, and so you know, went throughout my journey there and studied integrated marketing communications, and obviously did the entrepreneurship minor. Learned a ton, opened a lot of doors, met a lot of really great people, and made some great connections. And so, really all of that is sort of what's set up the pillars for me to be where I am today.
All right. Well, what drew you to the entrepreneurship minor during undergrad? Did your friend who got you to come to Carroll also get you to join the minor?
So no, he didn't do the minor, but he was very aware of it. I think he was just busy with his major and things like that. But I was interested in it originally because when I saw that Carroll offered an entrepreneurship minor, I never really thought that you could learn entrepreneurship. I just thought it was more of an action rather than like this big sort of theory. And then, I mean, obviously I was wrong because I decided to run with it. And I mean, after the first class, I saw, a lot of value in this sort of education because I think what it does for somebody that's developing, whether they're looking to get into business or whether they're looking to get into any other function of the world, it really lays a groundwork for you to know how to solve problems and in a little bit more of a creative way and see value in things that maybe others wouldn't be able to see. And so I think I picked that up very quickly and I was attracted to it. And so I decided to roll with it.
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree. Um, in what ways has the entrepreneurship minor best served you post graduation?
Yeah. So, I right after graduation, I was fortunate to have gotten a job as product manager at Philips Healthcare. So, in that role, there's a lot of business case development and value proposition creation. Um, and so, obviously, the groundwork that the entrepreneurship program laid in terms of VPC framework has been, I mean, such a fruitful sort of trait that I've been able to bring to the table, in my past role at Philips and even now in my current role as a consultant. I'm able to, I think bring this perspective of that holistic problem solver. And so, yeah, it's sort of a very vast answer that I'd like to give, but to keep it short and sweet, it really boils down to being able to find value where others can't and being able to interpret problems into viable solutions and then ultimately seeing that solution through. So much of what product management is entrepreneurship, right? I mean, obviously you're falling within the ranks of a larger organization in a lot of cases, but you're still being called upon to consult with others, understand their problems, and ultimately drive a solution. So yeah, I would say that in a broad sort of nutshell.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to take those lessons from the minor and implement them in your career.
Yeah.
That's great to hear that. So switching gears to a bit of a deeper question, I guess. How did the
Okay.
minor impact you, the realization of your purpose, or help you discern an answer to the question of what do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah, so I think that is, I mean, understanding what you want to be or where you want to go when you grow up is such um, a hard question to answer. And I think in a lot of cases, many people, including myself, never really get to that final answer. But I will say this, what the entrepreneurship program did was establish this sort of sense of curiosity in me. And so, going through the different classes within the minor, I also was working very closely in a launch net. I had a little idea that I was trying to, see if I could validate. And so like kind of through all these experiences, um, I think it instilled this sense of curiosity, which ultimately, you know, became a really big driving factor in finding product management as a role generally, and then within this role in product management and in consulting, being curious and continuing to find ways to answer questions that maybe others wouldn't be able to think of. So it's sort of allowed me to open my mind in several ways, and so I would say that is my answer to your deep question. I hope it was a deep answer for you.
I think it's a solid answer. Thank you.
Awesome.
And I got one more question for you. If you had to make a pitch for why a JCU student should take the entrepreneurship minor, what would that be?
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually thinking of this, sort of something along these lines, like a little while back, and it was around, like I personally think every student that comes to John Carroll, like in their first week, should go through a value proposition workshop of some sort. Whether you're studying business or studying medicine or biology, whatever the case may be, because I don't think entrepreneurship is, and the methodologies that fall within entrepreneurship are just related to business. I mean, it's related to problem solving. That's what entrepreneurs are. And sort of instilling those different theories and methods to understand how to solve a problem, whether it's in a very streamlined approach or from a different perspective, you're still understanding where to look and understanding the correct questions to ask to kind of narrow down what your solution is going to be. And so it's like, my advice would be absolutely do it. I mean, you're crazy for not doing it. It's right in front of you. You have access to it. It's such a fun program as well. Obviously, you learn a lot, but the people that you work with, the projects that you work on, again, whether you're looking to get into business or not, you could want to be a nurse or you could want to be a scientist. It doesn't matter. I think this program is really developed to enable young professionals to just think differently and be creative. And so my advice, absolutely go do it.
Good stuff. James, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience in the minor with us.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it.